Metal Summoners, here is the reality of the situation. This show exists because of you guys. Myself, Angel, and Steve, we've all been around long enough to have a great time in this business, love what we do, and a lot of very, very cool opportunities. But anybody can talk and anybody can interact. But when it comes to doing a show that's lasted as long as ours has, the fans, you guys, you metal summoners, and everything in between, from interacting with our guests and tuning in, sharing, wearing t-shirts and things like that. That's what matters, and that's what we really, really care about. So the fact of the matter is, this is the 6-year anniversary of the show. This is the anniversary for there's 3 of us, so we'll just call this our 666 anniversary. And again, we appreciate you, metal summoners, but that's enough for us. But welcome back to your island of misfit toys. Again, myself, Angel, and Psycho Steve couldn't be more stoked, couldn't be more thrilled that you guys have helped make this show happen. But the other very important part of making this show happen is allowing us to talk to someone, and that someone tonight is the Mr. Doug Aldrich. Doug, thank you so much, my friend. It's great to see you again. We were talking a little bit off the air about when you and I had run into each other. I know that you know Steve, and Angel, of course, my friend. But Doug, thank you so much for some of your time, and welcome to the Metal Summit.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys on the 6th anniversary. That's no joke right there.
Yeah. We're all 7 years old. Just saying.
Dude, we're right out of the womb, baby.
That's what it's. That's it, man.
Absolutely.
We're talking about off the air. Time flies a little too fast, but 6 years is a good run. That's good. Now we got to let's go for another 6.
Let's go.
Amen.
Amen. Absolutely. We definitely want to make that happen for sure. And first and foremost, again, Doug, congratulations on everything. I mean, you've got, Dead Daisies going on. You were playing recently with Glenn Hughes as well, of course. But so far, how is everything shaping up for 2026? It's still early in the year. What can you tell us about the way that the year is shaping up, based, of course, on what you're allowed to announce?
The year's been flying by. It's already 2 months gone, but I've been busy in here doing a bunch of sessions and doing a bunch of writing. I started getting on a roll, coming in the morning and just opening up my mind to get some different ideas down, and then I started thinking, oh, that would be cool for the Daisies, and started to I don't know, we don't really have a set plan yet because it's still early in the year, but I got some cool ideas going that I would love to show the guys when we get back together. We've been kind of on a little bit of a break since the end of last year. So yeah, I'm keeping busy here. And then, as I was mentioning off the air, I'm a dad, so I got when I'm home, it's like juggling.
Yeah.
Taking kids to all over the place, picking up, dropping off, school, cooking. I do a lot. Believe it or not, I do a lot of cooking. I'm getting pretty good at it now, actually.
We've moved past the microwave.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's nice to mix some flavors together and do a salad or cook some chicken or a pasta thing or whatever. And little by little, it's kind of therapeutic, but you have to, it takes time to learn.
Absolutely.
You
No,
take it classes, but my main objective is always, wake up, come out here in the studio, and start banging through some ideas. It's good for my soul. It's good for everything.
mhm. Absolutely, for sure. And I mean, the Dead Daisies are, of course, absolutely amazing. Such an amazing history of musicians that have come through the band as well. And before I kick it over to the guys and let them take it away as well, when it came to you getting involved with the Dead Daisies, how do you remember that happening? Because you're now, one of the very elder statesmen of that band, but of course, a band that's made up of genuine peers, of course, that have been in the business for as long as you have. How do you remember, your involvement with the Daisies coming to be?
It was just because of being friends with the guys in the band through other situations, whether it be well with when I joined the band, John Corabi, Brian Tishy, Marco Mendoza, and Richard Fortas was leaving. Dizzy was leaving. I've known Corabi since, like, literally since 10th grade. I think it was 1979 or something is when I met John, and then all the other guys working with Marco and Brian during the Whitesnake times, and then I met Richard when he was in Guns N' Roses originally, and Dizzy too. Dizzy played on some solo tracks that I did, so I knew all those guys, and they were doing some stuff. And the only guy I didn't know was David Lowy. So eventually, when the Guns got back together, they said, "Why don't we, speak to Doug?" And I had a long conversation with David Lowy, and we talked about, what he wanted to do, which was kind of a little bit a little more guitar oriented than it had been, because Dizzy is an amazing keyboard player, and he's got a big sound and everything. But I think David just wanted to simplify it, make it a little bit more of a Australian style, straight ahead rock and roll thing. And I said, that's great, man. We're gonna make a record. I joined the band. We're gonna make a record and then go on tour. And it was I'm on my 11th year now. It's 10 years down, and we've just had a blast. And like you said, we've had great musicians coming in. One of the first changes since I had been with the band was Dean Castronovo came in, and Dean. Brian Tishy is amazing. He's a world class, amazing. All these guys are world class. But Brian had some other stuff going, and Dean was available and wanted to play for a couple of years. So we had Dean, and then Glenn came in, and Glenn's rock and roll. He's really the royalty of rock. He's one of the greatest gifts for rock, and so he came in for a few years. We did a few albums with him. Then John came back. So it's like, it's been an amazing run for me. But yeah, joining the thing initially was based off of, friendships.
Nice.
I didn't have to audition.
No, very, very cool. Just from like a stage performance aspect, this is we had interviewed John a few years ago, but outside of a lead singer for the Dead Daisies, you're our first member of the band that we've gotten to interview. And I was always kind of curious when the change happened where Glenn came in, who's also the bass player for the band. How does something like that change up the stage performance for you, if at all, when you go from having a lead singer and a bass player to your lead singer who's also the bass player? Was there any particular performance differences, that whether it be just space on the stage or moving around, or just how did that kind of change? Or
it changes everything. It changes everything. You're talking about, we made a hard left turn. We weren't trying to replace John, because you can't replace John. John's one of the, I've been so lucky to work with all these people and the other people as well, these singers, you guys know. And John is right up there. He's amazing, and he's such a great MC at the show.
Yeah.
You know, we had Marco playing bass, and Marco's a genius player, monster. So like having Glenn come in, I had done some touring with Glenn years prior, and I loved it, you know, because Glenn, he's just so fun to play with, you know. He loves to, he's a very heavy bass player, but very melodic, and you didn't really need any guitar on stage with him, but it was fun to do that, you know. And so he came in, and it was a totally different vibe, you know. I mean, not to compare them at all, because they're not, it's like apples and oranges, literally. So we didn't want to replace John. Glenn came in, Marco was doing his solo stuff, and we didn't, you know, with the Dead Daisies, you don't know how it might be a 6-month run, it might be a year, it might be, in my case, it's a long time, you know. But Glenn came in, and it was, I immediately, you know, started thinking about, Glenn said, I got some ideas I want to show you guys. And I immediately started getting ideas that I thought would be great for Glenn. Just some kind of heavy groove things that I know that he would like. And on stage, it was totally, you know, with Marco or with Michael Devin, you got these guys that can sing really good backgrounds. And I could sing a little bit too. Yeah. But when Glenn came in, I felt obligated to sing a lot more. And it was like, oh man, this is hard work doing these backgrounds, you know? So that was different. Glenn's tone, everyone's got a different tone going, you know, so Glenn's tone was different as far as his bass tone, but it was badass, you know? And yeah, so then we did a best of album, and Glenn went back to doing his Deep Purple shows, and we got Michael Devin in, and John came back for those tours, and we did 2 albums since. So it's been good. But yeah, joining the band was basically word of mouth of guys I've played with, and I happened to be available.
Yeah. It's awesome, brother. No, absolutely, my friend, for sure. Speaking of a brother, speaking of my friend, the Psycho Steve. What's up, my good man? Take it away.
Greetings, Earthlings. So, speaking of friends, outside the band, like, who's your like bro that you get to hang on a regular basis when you're not being dad, chef, guitarist, and all the other things, husband?
I mean, that's the thing, is really, my wife is my best friend. She's amazing. You guys know a couple years ago, I went through cancer.
Yeah.
Right.
And my wife,
my bracelet.
she like made it so I could do it. I could get through it. And she was there every second of every day for me. And as was the guys in the band. But aside from her, I got some buddies that I really love that are motorcycle enthusiasts. You know, it's like guys like Gilby Clark and you know, a bunch of his band guys, EJ, and there's a lot of local guys in LA, Tammy Down, and Chris Bruno, who's an ex MMA guy, and then they ride with Josh Brolin and Michael Moore. This Rooster is his name, and so these guys have become really good friends. And of all those guys, I met this guy Christopher Pearson. He's a cinematographer. He's a cameraman, and he also does coloring and stuff. But these guys are like some of my best buddies outside of music, and although they are in music too as well, but just the camaraderie of the motorcycle hang is really fun. And so like we'll have a wrench night at Gilby's house or at Christopher's house or Rooster's place or whatever. Russell from Exile Cycles, there's like about 50 guys that ride it, and I actually saw them riding during COVID when we were all stuck inside. And I phoned up Gilby. I ran into Gilby at the guitar store, and I go, Gilby, I saw you guys were riding. Who are those guys? And he's like, he goes, it's the Hollywood Riders. It's called the Hollywood Riders. And I go, man, that's cool. I want to come out. He goes, yeah, man, I'll call you on Sunday. And the following Sunday, he called me. And if you guys know Gilby, he's just a really great dude.
Yeah.
And he said, Doug, come out. You know, and I think that day George Lynch was riding with them and some other people, and I had a blast. You know, it was like hanging with the Allman Brothers. These guys are all badass, you know, and it was a lot of fun. And so I started making friendships with all of them, and it's really cool. And then finally, so I had this bike. I had a '91 Softail Custom that was it looked like it was from the '90s. It was a little bit out of date, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize it, but these guys are riding these badass choppers, and Rooster says to me, "Hey, Doug, there's some really killer bike parties that you got to come to, man. But we need you. You should get a chopper, man. Then we can invite you." I was like, I got to get a chopper, okay. So then I started to get the bug about getting a chopper. So I bought a couple of really cheap choppers, and we, you know. One of our friends, Steven, he's a master mechanic, and he helped me put together this 77 shovel head, and it was fun. You know, it was like that saying, like, yeah, they said it would be great. They said it would be fun. Buy a chopper. It's going to be awesome. But what they don't tell you is that you got to be prepared to break down every 50% of the time. And that's where guys like Steven and Christopher and Gilby come, and they're like, they got a whole set of tools on their bike, and it's like, okay, oh, it must be this or that. And it was just an adventure, you know. So those guys were my kind of my best friends outside of my wife and band, you know.
Awesome. I had a 1200 XL
Nice.
Harley. That's what I had, but now I live in Jersey again, and the potholes are poorer than my hair.
Nice.
And let me just tell you, it sucks. I'm suing the town I live in. I live in Jersey City. I woke up to 2 flat tires with my Roach Coach car. So I decided to say, get your shit together and pave the road and plow. And I might buy a bike again in the future. But for right now, I will stick to 4 wheels.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it's even with 4 wheels, when you got potholes, it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's we, you know, don't get the weather that you get, so it's a little bit it's less of that out here. But Karabi lives in Nashville, and he's got a bike, and
Right.
he hit a pothole so bad his back was jacked up for a couple months, and he decided, you know what, forget this, I'm gonna get a chop. I'm gonna get a trike chopper. So he bought a trike, and it's all good, but if that front wheel goes in the pothole, he's going to be in trouble. So
Right. Nice.
But yeah, I don't get out as much as those guys ride every week. Like Gilby and Rooster, all those guys, they ride every weekend. Every weekend there's a ride. Chopper Fest, there's Born Free, there's a ride to Mexico, there's a you know, Sturgis, there's whatever. And you know, because I got kids that are in sports, they got sports on the weekend. So I'll come out on Sundays usually, but hopefully this year, because I got a little more free time, I'm going to do this Mexico run with them, because it's the last year of it. It's down from California down all the way to Baja.
Nice.
So yeah, that would be fun.
Speaking of, my last question until I turn it over to Angel, you said being a dad, I got to ask, what kind of car do you drive?
Well, I have a very impractical car. It's a Mustang that is, you know, it's a 4-seater, but really it's a 2-seater. You can squeeze a kid in the back or a couple kids, but I had an SUV for years. I've had SUVs one after another for years and years, and I forget what happened. I think I had to put my car in the shop, my truck in the shop, and I rented a Mustang, and I was like, whoa, this is fun, you know. And at that time, I was doing a gig out in Vegas, and so there was kind of like I would commute, and I thought this is going to be fun. So I bought one, and then I normally would have traded in, you know, but then my son has just turned 16 in August. He's in the process of being ready to drive, and I thought I'll keep it for him, but I didn't realize that the insurance for him to drive a Mustang would be it's going to be just
It's insane.
Yeah,
I know.
my wife has a SUV, so it's the family car.
Gotcha. Buy him a beater. My ex-wife bought my oldest son a BMW for his first birthday, for his first car. Thanks, child support. Okay, back to you, Angel.
Thank you, Charles.
That's hilarious.
It's true, though. He's driving a 5 Series while I'm fucking driving a Jetta. I'm not bitter. Go ahead. And
You're right. You're right. You got to get. I think a beater would be good because then the insurance wouldn't be so bad. Because
right,
a BMW that's probably more than a Mustang.
right, exactly. The parts alone, forget it.
Oh, I know. I used to have my wife had an X5 BMW that I loved it. It was a killer. Like that thing was bulletproof. One time I was driving from Vegas back to LA for a rehearsal, and I was supposed to fly, but it was so foggy, very, very rare in Vegas, but it was foggy in Vegas, so the flights got canceled. So I just said, I'll just drive. But I had to leave super early, and I had to pull over in the desert and take a nap. And I got in the back of the BMW and fell asleep. And I woke up, and I got out of the back, and I shut the door, and I go in the front, and it's locked. And I'm in the middle of the desert, and it wasn't hot, but I was like, I didn't know it was a used car. I didn't know that you could call BMW and they could zap the thing and open it.
Right, roadside assistance.
What they did in the end. But before that, I was like half asleep. I'm like, I gotta get to LA. There's nothing around me. I pulled off on an off ramp that went nowhere and was sleeping. So I found a rock, and I'm like, I'm gonna break the little back window. That's all I can do. Break the back window, then I'll get in. And I could not break. I took this rock. It was this big, and I was bashing the window, and it would not break. And I love that BMW. But what did break is why they call it the BMW is my wallet, because every time you had to do anything with that car, it was like, break my wallet, break it, you know.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I do like SUVs, and so that's our main one. Yo, Bobby, what's up?
I guess you know Mr. Dreyer. That's the gentleman that has the 59 Les Paul, by the way.
Bobby, we gotta hang out, man. Where is Bobby? Where does he live?
He lives in Pennsylvania. He's an East Coaster.
Where are you?
He lives in Doylestown.
Outside Philly.
Yeah, you lived in Philly.
Yep.
So
I heard him last week at the theater at the Bad Marriage show.
Yep.
Hey Bobby, I'm still waiting for you to post a picture of you sitting on my lap. Just saying. Oh, now my question. Yeah, I forgot.
Let's go. What do you got? Come on.
Okay. As far as musicians, producers, is there anybody out there that you still want to work with?
Oh man, lots of guys. Somebody like Bob Rock would be really fun to work with, or I never worked with Eddie Kramer. He's still doing stuff, I believe. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of guys.
I thought you said you'd like to work with Yanni. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, but there's a lot of guys that are legendary that are, I think they're kind of retired, you know, but there's a guy that a couple guys that I know that Joe Barisi is an amazing producer, engineer that has worked with everybody. He started off back at Sound City Studios, you know, that famous studio in LA, back in the early 80s. And he's a buddy of mine, and he's just a gearhead, you know, and he's like old school. So he still utilizes tape and analog boxes and stuff. And then the guy that we work with Glenn, Ben Gross, I love working with Ben. Ben was Ben's way of producing was really cool. We'd get the basic tracks cut, and then he would, you know, so he'd have basic guitars and drums and bass. And then he would say, "Hey, Doug, I need you for an hour. You know, can you come in tomorrow at, you know, maybe noon?" Easy, yeah, come in. And he would just go, "Okay, I got a list here of things I want to accomplish today." Very organized, and it would be like, "Okay, let's go to Like No Other. I want you to play the rhythm track again, but this time, you know, use more bar chords." I'm like, "Okay." Or he'd say like, "Hey, I just want you to play a little bit, some fills through this whole song." And I wouldn't even know really what to do. And he would just like, "Just play, just do it. Now do it again." And I wouldn't know what the finished product was going to be, but the way he did it was kind of like a movie producer. He would grab his bits that once he knew that he had what he wanted, it was good. And then I'd hear the final mix and go, "Oh, wow, I love it. It's amazing." But didn't really know what he was up to in the beginning. But I really liked it. It was cool because he made it so easy. He would just be like, "Come in for an hour. Let's do some work," you know, or then he might call me back again and go, "Hey, I know you're going on tour tomorrow, but can you come in today for 30 minutes? I just want to do a few things." Okay. And, but he's a good dude, and he's very talented. I listened to the Holy Ground record that we did with Ben, and I was listening to some track, and I was listening in headphones. I was blown away because there was all these things after coming back to it after a period of time, there were all these things that I had never heard before. And it was just like ear candy stuff, you know. My ears are pretty tired from playing with, you know, playing with these loud amps and guitars for all my life, and drummers. And so it's sometimes when I first hear something, I can't really differentiate all the different textures. But after some time off, it becomes more apparent. It's cool to listen to.
What advice to your 16-year-old self?
Say again?
What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Probably, I think it's not just about music, but like be aware. I think it's be aware of time. You know, like practice. Use the time to really work hard and practice that you got, because when you know, I'm not there yet, but when you're 66, that's 50 years, 40, yeah. It goes by very fast, and you start thinking like, man, you know, all this time went by and I'm still doing the same stuff, you know. It's like, I think I would have told myself to really take advantage of all the time, the minutes to get better as a musician, and not just music, but life, you know, like take advantage of it every day, every minute. Make it like the best it can be, you know. Like today is a great day. I'm talking to you guys. It's like, this is time well spent. But like,
Oh, thank you.
But like, you know, doing email or like surfing the internet or something, doesn't really get you that much.
Gotcha.
Good question.
Totally.
Very. Bravo, Angel. Bravo.
That's a great one, because too many. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell my son right now. Is like, he's 16, so I'm trying to inspire him. I'm trying to be a good role model and show him, and he knows hard work pays off, and he's doing it. It's not in music, but he's doing it. And but there's so many things I want to tell him, but it's like some of it, it's not really, the opportunity isn't really there, or he might not be ready to talk about certain things. But like, I want him to seize every fucking day, Like, and also, I'll tell myself this, I didn't go to college. And I feel now regret about not going to college. So I would say when you're young, even before 16, the time that you're going to school it's the best time. You're like a sponge, man. You can learn, and you can make yourself so intelligent about everything, whatever you want. And college I think it's a great thing, personally, because I didn't go, so I feel like I missed out on a bunch of learning from my brain that would have been great. And of course, I did use the time for my music, and good things happened during those years. But whether you're 18 or you're 21, it doesn't matter. You're still a baby, A man's brain doesn't even really mature until he's 25 or something, whatever they say.
Yeah, that is true. 25.
I guess I missed that.
You still have hair at 25.
True story. I did have hair at 25.
It's all about the hair, isn't it?
Yeah, the less hair I have, the more head I get.
Yeah, but there you go.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
A number of ways.
True story.
But then you got Lucy here, which is Lucy's got more hair than all of us, and Lucy she likes to jam. She likes to jam and play. When I play music, she loves to howl and sing.
Is she a Frenchie?
She's not. She's a Boston
Terrier.
She's got she's got a mix. She's probably got some I don't know, maybe some she's maybe got some a mix of something, because a pure Boston is black usually and has these straight ears that go like this.
Right.
She might have some boxer in her or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Absolutely, for sure. So, Doug, one of the things I want to take you to in the next segment is take you back a little bit in time and just have a little bit of fun with yourself, like personally. And I wanted to talk a little bit about like High Centered and Electrovision. And when you look back at those, especially now and the change in like music and the landscape, how do you look back at those records?
That's a really good question. It was a very fun but self-indulgent experiment at that time. I thought, I wanted to do some things that I'd never done before, and so it started with High Centered, and I got a deal with a Japanese company, and they gave me a really good budget, and went in the studio with Andy Johns, who is known for, in the 80s he was known for stuff like Cinderella and whatnot, but in the 70s he was known for Zeppelin, Hendrix, and his brother worked with the Stones, and I worked with him with House of Lords, and that's how we met. And then we started doing this High Centered record together, and it was a blast. Very free form. It was self-indulgent, but it was really rewarding,
Nice.
Then I started at that time, home recording became really popular, and the ADATs were the thing that everyone. So with the money that I got for the budget, I bought a couple of ADATs and a little mixing board, and then me and Chris Frazier, the drummer Chris Frazier he's playing with Foreigner now, but he played with Steve Vai, and he played with Whitesnake. for a while, and different people, but he's been with Foreigner for the past 10 years or so. And Chris and I were really into the same kind of things musically, like taking chances and trying things. And so we set up my studio, and he brought his drums and set up in an old house that I was renting. And we just crafted a bunch of like fusion stuff, not far away from trying to be like in the Jeff Beck realm or something, which was the majority of it was like that. But it was super fun. It didn't sell. It did not sell, but it was a really fun thing to do, and it just was great for my self-esteem, to make those records.
Nice. Do you have physical copies of those records still in your collection?
I do. Not many, but I do have a couple. And at that time I had been through, I started as a kid on a Les Paul style guitar. Then I got a real Les Paul. Then I moved on. When I got to LA, I met Grover Jackson, and I started working with Grover and using Jackson Super Strats. It was basically kind of a Les Paul and a Strat together. And then eventually Grover left the company, and I kind of just was ready to go back to other things that I had done. And I went with Fender for a while and was really into that. And that's what I use mostly, Strats on that Electrovision stuff. And I kind of like would love to go back and revisit some of that stuff with Les Paul again. Because then eventually I always had Les Pauls, and I always have different guitars, but I was mainly touring with Fender at that time in the mid 90s. And right after that, I was like, I think, it was when I was working with Dio, I started to break the Les Pauls out again, because, for the heavier stuff, the Les Paul really carried the weight of the Tony Iommi riffs and whatnot. And so that was the start of it. And then when I joined Whitesnake, David Coverdale said, "Hey, I really love the fact that you're playing Les Pauls. I really want you to feature them the most." And so first couple tours with Whitesnake, I mostly played Les Pauls, but I still played a Strat sometimes and a Telly. Sometimes for slide, I would use the Telly. But eventually it was just the Les Paul full time.
Nice. That's awesome, man, for sure. Definitely. When you look back at and again, we were talking about this a little bit off the air, and I definitely wanted to bring it up in the time that we have with you, is that I loved your record with Lion, and I have a vinyl copy of it that you signed for me when I came out and saw you with the Dead Daisies in Baltimore a few years back. And you were talking about, all of the members of Lion are still around, and that you periodically do see those guys get together for dinner. But just when you look back at that time, what do you remember, of course, about the formation of that band and subsequently putting together that record?
That's a great question. So I came out to LA in 1981 from Philadelphia, where I went to high school. And immediately, joined a band through classified ads in this newspaper, and started playing around and started getting a little bit of a reputation. Eventually, put another band together and started to do a little bit more work. And eventually, I had seen Yngwie play with Steeler at the Roxy. And the drummer really caught my eye. Obviously, Yngwie was brilliant, but the drummer also was really cool. They were all cool, but the drummer was like different than your typical drummer. And a couple of years later, after Yngwie had left, I got a call from Mark. And Mark, his name was Mark Edwards. His real name is Mark Schwartz. And Mark called me from a phone booth. I don't think he had a phone. And he goes, "Hey, this is Mark so and so, Mark Edwards, and I was like, of course I know who you are. You're great, man. He goes, well, we really like your playing, and we've got a new band. It's called Lion. I've got the next David Coverdale on lead vocals, and I was like, who's that? I didn't even know. I of course I knew who Deep Purple was, but I didn't know his name. I didn't know David's. I didn't, maybe I didn't really know what he had done after Deep Purple, because at that time Whitesnake hadn't really done much in the U.S. And he goes, David Coverdale from Whitesnake. I go, Whitesnake, I heard of it. I don't really know their stuff. And so Cal and I met, and Cal really was influenced a lot by the British. He was part of the new wave of British heavy metal, Cal Swan, with a band called Titan. And he came over with these Whitesnake records and Thin Lizzy, a lot of Thin Lizzy that I didn't know about, and a lot of other things. And so me, him, and my buddy Jerry Best from Philadelphia, we made the band. I said they didn't have a bass player, so I said, well, I'll bring Jerry, and they offered Jerry the gig, and they had kind of a little bit of a head start with Lion, but it didn't really do much. Me and Jerry had kind of a good rep around Los Angeles, so we made the band Lion, and I will never forget, we didn't have any money to do anything. We'd be like, once a month we might go to the and get a pizza or something, but what we did have was we had a budget for rehearsal, and we'd rehearse 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and we were writing and living in the same, it was a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 or 5 guys in it. And some of the Steeler crew was part of the Lion crew. And so everybody was like, it was like the first time of really being in a family of guys that we were trying to, do good things, and we were all working for the same reason, for the same purpose. And we didn't have any furniture. In fact, all of my, like, the amps and cabinets and stuff, that was our furniture. Like, we'd have 4x12s put together with a piece of plywood on top. That was our kitchen table. So when we went and did gigs, the whole apartment was empty, and it was just cool. I didn't care. We were drawing big crowds, getting a good reputation, but eventually everybody got signed except for us. Our sound was different. We were not like your typical LA band. So, like, hey, Bobby.
Yo.
Hey, man. Look at you. That's a nice studio there.
Hey, wait 1 second. Let me cut one thing. Yeah, I got to get off Facebook here. Hold up. Boom. There.
Anyways,
wait. Did I hit the wrong one?
I'm going to finish this story really quick.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Hey,
Doug, how you doing, man? I've seen you out at NAMM when we did the Ultimate Jam that night. I was doing all the photography. I worked with Weiss.
Awesome, Bobby.
Yeah. He's telling the stories about Lion.
Hold on 1 sec. So
I can't hear him right now.
So Lion, we were doing really good in LA, and it was going well.
Am I?
We weren't getting a deal.
I can't hear Doug.
We can hear you.
Hello?
It's weird.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. I can hear you. I can't hear Doug.
You can't hear me? Bobby, what's up, man? Come on, don't mute me out, man. Come on.
Let me cut this.
Bobby,
Should I go on Facebook? Hold up. Let me just.
All right. Anyways,
Stinks. Where am I? StreamYard. Do that.
Lion
Facebook.
basically,
I could hear him on there.
but it wasn't like the right deal for us. And eventually the band broke up, but we had a blast. We had a good run.
Absolutely, man. 100% for sure. So, Metal Summoners, we just want to let you guys know that we're rocking out with Doug to the top of the hour due to due to parental and professional obligations. So it is going to be last call for alcohol there, Metal Summoners. We appreciate you guys rocking out. It's been an amazing 6 years, and we're going to keep rocking and rolling with Doug for a little bit longer. And of course, myself and Angel are going to keep, Psycho Steve are going to keep the show rocking and rolling as well. So we do want to let you guys know, though, that it is last call for alcohol. We're going to go around the table with everybody. We're going to include Bobby because, hey, the Metal Summit is always a fraternity. You're never not a member of the family. So, Bobby, let's kick it down to you, brother, as long as everything's sounding okay to you. And then Psycho Steve, why don't you go ahead and pick it up as well so we can always make sure that we're being respectful of Doug's time.
Ooh.
All right, man. So
Put it close. Let me see.
Close up.
Doug,
Oh, man.
Damn, I can see my head.
59.
That's a beauty.
There it is.
Shiny.
That is a beauty, bro.
I can see myself in it.
59. But Doug, I'll get you something that'll get you really a little bit of wood. So this case here, right here, was our buddy, Mr. Theodore, wanted this guitar.
Wait, who? Who did you say, Jay?
Theodore, Mr. Theodore.
Theodore. It would be that Theodore.
No way. That's the one.
It's
that's
a 68 Birdland.
That's his? Whoa. Theo. That thing's gorgeous.
No, it's mine. He wanted it.
Oh, okay.
And this is the reason why. And I told him, it wasn't Halford that made me gay. It was him in 79 in a loincloth.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I remember it. I saw that too. Wango Tango. That's beautiful, man. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, Scream Dream Torch.
Oh, Scream Dream. It wasn't Wango Tango? Scream Dream? I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
I got.
He flew across the stage. He flew across the stage with the loincloth, and that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I need to come down to Doylestown.
I'll pick you up from the airport.
Come back to Philly, man.
I'm gonna come back. I'm
doing a bunch of stuff with Richie Kotzen, with Zach.
Hey, I would love to come over to your spot.
Real quick before you blow out.
Never real quick. Steve, I got you, my friend.
So
All I have to say is oi to the vey.
I'm with Wolfie next week for his birthday.
That's gorgeous. That's pretty cool. I love it.
So I'm bringing this up for Wolf next week to use up in the Poconos.
Very
Kind
cool.
of a tribute. We're calling it the 442.
Okay.
So basically, tribute to his dad and his birthday being 316 and Ed's being 126, 442.
Very cool.
Nice.
I love it, man. Is Wolfie's birthday on the 16th?
Yep.
Oh, cool. That's a good number, 360.
Come out. Dude, love to work with you. I do stuff with David Ivory, so, Hailstorm, everything. So,
Oh, I love them. Joe and Luther are awesome. But, yeah, I'm going to come to Philly, and then I would love to see you, man. Doylestown's not far. My family lives in, near Rosemont. My mom and dad are at a place in Rosemont. Just
Hell
down
yeah. Killer, man, for sure.
Steve, what's up, man? It's a laugh.
very cool.
Psycho Steve, it's all you, my good man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Steve, it's like what basically Jay's saying is that he's saying to me, he's basically talking to me. He's going, Doug, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Oh, no.
We were
The
going to keep you on longer.
Aldrich absolutely does not need to go anywhere. He is more than welcome to stay here. Of course, my friend, I'm just trying to, make sure that, we don't take up too much of your time. We'll go all night.
I appreciate it. I can hang with you guys for hours. It would be easy.
It just means you get to come back and we have some more fun.
Yeah, anytime.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Right back to you, Steve.
Okay, so it's a three-parter. One, go ahead.
I just want to say really quick to you guys.
Yeah.
Really, we're grateful for what you guys do, for what you guys bring to the people, for the energy that you bring to to heavy metal and hard rock and whatever whatever all the different people you work with. We really appreciate you guys. And if it wasn't for guys like you doing this show, we would be out of work. So we really appreciate it.
No, we really appreciate you as well. And real quick, before I let Steve take it away, no, the funny thing, I mean, it wasn't funny for the time, but it was just something that I've always been semi kind of grateful for the show is back when Angel, Steve, I, and Bobby were doing the show originally. The thing is when our first episode was the first Wednesday in March. That's why this is always our anniversary. It was the first Wednesday in March in 2020. So we were about 3-4 episodes deep when the world shut down. And so that was when the four of us, the five of us at the time, all tried to do what we could when it came for this show, because we knew all of our peers, our colleagues, our friends, as well as musicians were all off the road, not working. So we were trying to do anything we could to allow them to talk about music, talk about their stories, and kind of stay in the public eye.
I get it. And that's really cool, man.
No,
very cool.
For sure. No, appreciate your words, Doug, for sure. Steve, officially back to you, my friend.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you to your publicist, Doug, for making this happen. I know I emailed you quite a few times. I also wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Thirdly, now I'm a dad. I have 2 kids. You said you're a dad. I need to know, does your kid think you're cool?
Not sure. We didn't really have those. We haven't talked about that, but I would say he loves me.
Right.
My kids love me for sure. Whether I'm cool or not, I don't know.
Like when you drop them off at school, did like the moms and the dads be like, "Wait a minute, isn't he?" kind of thing?
No,
Like,
they all find out eventually. The big one is Whitesnake. Everyone goes. It's like you could be in a band, a name band for a year. So let's just say I was in Whitesnake for a long time. Me and David wrote tons of songs. I loved it. But you could be in Whitesnake for one tour, just even a tour, and then all of a sudden everyone goes, "That's the guy from Whitesnake." And it's like, no, he just did one tour with Whitesnake. He's not the guy from Whitesnake. The guy from Whitesnake is Bernie Marsden or John Sykes or one of those guys. That's the real guy. But yeah, they always, Whitesnake, everyone knows who Whitesnake is. So I'll be at my daughter's soccer practice and a little 10-year-old girl will come and say, "We listened to your song in the car. It's our favorite song. Here I go again." I'm like, it's a great song. It's a great song.
Thanks for the publishing. Yeah,
I wish I played that song. I played that song probably more than, Rev played it more than anyone because Rev is still in Whitesnake. But no, it's just funny, how name recognition is you get attached to a brand and all of a sudden, like for example, I played on a Lady Gaga song for one album, one song, and she didn't even she spelled my name wrong. She wrote Doug Aldrich, like Tommy Aldrich.
Oh man.
And it was funny. But like to the point, I could say like Doug Aldrich from Lady Gaga. I could do that. I don't think I would get the return that I want. I would get a whole different crew, but like that's how it is. So yeah, people at school, they know that I'm a musician because I look goofy or whatever. But the original question of my kids thinking I'm cool, I think my daughter probably thinks like my dad's cool because he's known or whatever. My son is 16, so he's more realistic. He's like, that's my dad. I trust my dad. I'm going to ask him if I got a question, but he probably thinks he knows more than me.
My oldest thinks I'm okay. My youngest thinks I'm lame. So here we are. Very good.
It changes though, Steve. It might be this week, next week you might do something and it's like, wow, that was really cool. My daddy did this and did that. It was like really cool. Or
Absolutely.
somebody goes, hey, you know what? Your dad looks cool. He's badass. What? My dad? Your dad, he looks cool. He's like really badass. Hey, daddy, come here. You know, it's like all of a sudden you're cool, you know?
Right.
Because the friend said so. So you never know, man. Hey, we're not, the job is for us not to get our egos massaged. The job is for us to provide them with a safe, loving environment to grow up.
Absolutely.
And then when we have free time, then we're allowed to rock. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's it. On our free time, on our time. Then
Right. What's that?
The one good thing about my kids, there's so many good things, but one of the great things about my kids with music is that they will tolerate my music, which is, you know, obviously outdated for what kids listen to today, but they'll tolerate it. They'll listen to. I was listening to Hey Joe Hendrix today, and I was like, I had to crank it because I hadn't heard it in a while, and it's not what my son would dig on, but Jimi Hendrix, man, it's just fucking cool. Yeah. It just sounds great, you know. You know that during the song, it's just a great guitar part. You know, it's so simple and basic. It's not metal, but a lot of metal came from that. Maybe a whole lot of love came from that.
Right.
But yeah, so they tolerate my music.
Copy. Okay. Angel.
Your favorite place in the world that you love to play? Could be a venue, could be a country.
Angel, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry, brother.
Your favorite place in the universe to perform live? Could be a country or venue.
Okay. I think there's a few places that I love a lot. I mean, pretty much anywhere in Europe is amazing, but I do love London. Every time a London show, it's always a special show. That's where the White Live in the Still of the Night was recorded at Hammersmith Odeon, and then the Dio Holy Diver Live was recorded in London at the Astoria. It's not the Astoria now. It's changed. It's gone. But I would say also, like, in playing in Japan, especially Tokyo, obviously Tokyo or Osaka. Osaka was always more of the rowdy crowd. Tokyo was a little bit more the pressure gig because all of the big wigs would come, you know. And then lastly, you know, all through Europe is great. They're all different. You go in Greece, it's really killer. You go in Spain, it's killer. The French love it. In the Scandinavian countries, it's amazing. But then if you go with the most crazy audience of all time, it's a toss-up between Argentina and Chile. Those two places, they go crazy. They go off. And I love it. You know, I haven't been down there since it's been about 8 years since I've played in Argentina. I can't wait to go back in Chile as well. So, gentlemen,
yes,
it's the witching hour for me. My son has come twice and gone like this.
No,
he wants to get to his practice. But
of course,
I'm grateful for you guys. I love you, and I love what you do. And thank you so much for having me on today. And thanks to everybody watching and listening and stuff. And, God bless you guys.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do it again.
Doug, thank you so much. We definitely look forward to having you back on again.
Anytime. And now I know.
Oh, thank you, Doc.
Now I know that it's going to be, if we're going to do it, let's do a long hang.
Yes.
We actually will get a couple beers and we'll have a night of it.
Sounds great.
We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Doug, have yourself an absolutely fantastic evening for sure. And we really appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right. All the best.
Always,
You too.
For
All
sure.
right.
Have a good night, man.
Absolutely. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. Very, very much for tuning in. Like 6 years, you've got the core four back together for this one. Of course, shout outs to Jason. For everybody who's been involved in the show as well. Even a shout out to Mitch LaFon from our very first episode, of course. We really, really appreciate all of you guys. Make sure that you're following all of his socials, everything that he's doing, his website, for everything that's going on for the Dead Daisies, anything that he's doing personally with his music. And of course, like you guys know, he does a lot of session work as well. For myself, please make sure that you guys are following the Metal Summit on Facebook and YouTube particularly. That's where the interviews take place on. That's where you're watching Doug, myself, Angel, Bobby right now is on Facebook and YouTube. So please like and subscribe to those pages. And then, of course, a lot of our guest announcements do come out on Instagram as well when it comes to our announcements, and everything that we've got going on is always a great page to check out as well. When it comes to Angel, you can follow Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. He can also be found on Facebook as well. Psycho Steve, he can be found at The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram, as well as Psycho Steve Presents .com. So make sure that you're seeing everything that he's been doing. Angel was just out on the road with Bad Marriage and the Midnight Devils. Psycho Steve co-hosted the iHeart Horror Festival. You can find myself when it comes at Instagram for Salem.Vampire. I can also be found under that moniker as well when it comes to Facebook, and I have a personal page as well. And because we have him back on stream for a little bit, Bobby, take a moment to tell everybody know what you're up to and where you can be found.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Doug.
Bobby, can you hear me, buddy?
Woo!
Bobby, let everybody know.
Oh my God,
right
I am an AKC photographer for dog shows, so I'm doing puppies.
Right on, brother.
That's my big thing right now.
Absolutely.
You guys can follow me there.
Hell yeah, brother. Absolutely, man, for sure. But Metal Summoners, of course, thank you guys so very, very much. It's been 6 years. We are super stoked to give you guys 6 more. And it's absolutely a pleasure for sure. Absolutely. Myself, Steve, what have you got coming up, if anything, my friend?
I know.
Nothing really exciting.
And we're still as good looking after 6 years.
Absolutely, brother. For sure.
I'm boring. I have nothing going on right now.
That's all right, dude. No worries. Jackson, I'm sorry about that, buddy. I did see your comment, but we did have Doug on limited time tonight. So I'm really, really sorry that we couldn't get this answered for you. But when we have Doug back on the show, definitely make sure that you pop this one back in, man, because it's a good one. And we definitely want to get
no colonoscopy.
Not this time, for sure. Bobby, what do you have coming up, buddy, if anything?
Oh, yeah, I got a colonoscopy coming up. Thanks, Bobby, for the reminder.
Absolutely.
I have Wolfgang Van Halen next week up at that will be at Wind Creek.
Nice.
And again, be up there. He will be celebrating his birthday.
Right on. Hell
Cool.
yeah. That thing's sick, Bobby. What did you say that was called again? What was the code?
Bobby, what was the name of the
good.
guitar?
And then after that, I'll be out with Mr. Zach Wild.
Nice. Killer, man.
442. It's Ed is 126.
Yep. Same birthday as me.
Where were you last Wednesday?
442.
442.
Yeah, Bobby. Where were you last Wednesday?
And Wolfie is 316.
Nice. Hell yeah, for sure, brother, for sure. Angel, do you have anything coming up?
Oh, I was sitting on your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last Wednesday,
My butt still hurts, Angel.
I know it does. I did warn you about a 12-inch, but you didn't listen to me. What can I say?
Ow.
Ouch.
That was backstage, okay? It was away from the public.
I'm not judging. I'm Jewish, bro. I'm jealous.
You told me it was snow. No.
The way for you to post a picture.
Wow.
In typical TMS Core 4 fashion, we have derailed. but before we sign off for the evening, Angel, what do you have anything coming up soon, my friend?
Just resting after partying with Bad Marriage and Midnight Devils and Bobby last Wednesday. So yeah, I do need a rest.
Absolutely, for sure, man. And we had a good time at the Fan Jam, brother. That was good times.
I hung out with everybody. I hung out with Steve at the iHorror. I hung out with you at Fan Jam with Bobby last Wednesday. So I hung out with everybody. So I'm happy about that.
Absolutely, for sure. No, definitely. I'm gonna be hanging out with my buddy Ron. You know, all of our friend Ron from Empire Extreme. We're gonna be going out to the Ventana show tomorrow.
How we looking at for M3 this year, guys?
That's gonna be an interesting one for sure. We'll definitely see you at M3 for sure.
Yep. I'm going.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And actually, speaking of that as well, before I get into that, yeah, so me and Ron from Empire Extreme, we're going to be getting together tomorrow for the Ventana show. And then he and I, at the end of the month, are going to be making our way up to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, because we will be working the Creature Feature event. So we're really, really excited to meet there. There's a whole bunch of OG actors and actresses from the original Toxic Avenger. So I'm personally very excited to go just for that reason alone. But that being said, we do have M3 coming up as well. But also, if anybody hasn't seen the announcement today, our good friend Brad Lee is going to be doing a return to Sleazy Slimy Sunday. It is not officially going to be called Sleazy Slimy Sunday. He's got an ever so cathedral-esque title that he's going to be doing for it. But right after M3 on that Sunday, May 3rd, Brad is, along with Will Mass, is going to be doing a show at Fishhead Cantina. So make sure that you're following Brad, Will, or the BLE Facebook page for all of those announcements. So it's definitely going to be a good time for all of us to be able to get back hanging with our mates and having a good time.
Amen.
Absolutely, for sure. So, Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much for an amazing 6 years. Cheers, and here's to another 6 more. We're going to sign off for the evening. Thank you. Endless thank yous to our absolute honor, the Doug Aldrich, hanging out with us tonight. And we look forward to having him on again in the future. But again, make sure that you're following Angel, Steve, Bobby, and myself on all of our various socials and personal websites. And we look forward to seeing you guys all soon. Guest announcement over the weekend for next week's episode of TMS. It's going to be another great one, as always. But take care, be good to each other, and keep listening to music. As always, you've been watching The Metal Summit.
Yay.